Hello, I am Anubha Walia, Director in leading training and executive coaching firm Prism Philosophy at New Delhi. I am also an international trainer and an executive coach. As we are focusing on the most important aspect of communication, which is business reports, and we have also learned how reports are used as an effective tool of communication in any organization. While preparing a report, one should keep in mind the respective principle which we actually emphasized in the previous section, that is, accuracy of the information, effective communication, short and clear title, appropriate level of language, routine style, proper paragraphing of the text, concise, inclusion of recombinations, signature and date of submission. The process of report writing involves 7 major steps. They are determining the purpose of the report, identification of the receiver, collection of data, analysis and classification of data, preparation of the outline of a report, preparation of the final report and presentation of report. Based on the length, reports may be classified into 2 basic categories: long reports and short reports. The format of long reports is different from that the short reports are. In this unit, which is going to concern and focus on the reports, there is no prescribed structure for long reports. The part of a long reports are grouped under 3 heads. First, primary part, second, text, and the third is a supplementary part. Let's understand them one by one. Primary part comprises title page, authorization documents, table of the content, list of tables, list of figures, abstracts, and so on. The text consists of introduction, body, and conclusion. Under the supplementary part, one may include endnotes, appendices, bibliographics, index, and etc. In a long report, normally preliminary part appears in the beginning of the report, text comes in the middle, and the supplementary appears in the end. The structure of short reports is much simpler than that of long report. Basically, there are 3 formats for short reports too. They are memorandum form, minutes form, and letter form. The memorandum and the menu formats are used mainly for internal communication of an organization, while the letter format is used to communicate with outsiders. In case of the memorandum, certain niceties of letter writing are sacrificed for the sake of conciseness and simplicity and speed up the communication. Proceedings of the committee meetings are normally recorded in the form of minutes and communicated to the members and other interested parties in the organization. In appearance, letter reports are similar to letters. Let's start and explore the business report, which is classified on the basis of their length, that is, long reports and the short reports. The format of long report is different from the short report. Let's understand the preliminary part. In the preliminary part of a long report, a variety of items are presented. Normally, the nature of items depends upon the situation, nature, and the content of the report. For instance, a formal report includes more items than an informal report. Generally, it's been including in the preliminary part of the formal reports, which are title. The title flag contains only the report title. The title should be brief and indicative of the contents and the depth of the report. The title page is a compulsory for all business reports. This should include the title of the report, names and designation of the author, date of submission, and the title of the person from whom it is prepared. Authorization document. A copy of the letter issued by the competent person authorizing the report to be made should be included in the preliminary part. Table of contents. It is a must. It is normally called the contents. Its list various divisions, chapter of the report, such as the first and the second level headings, that is the chapters and subchapters in the text, list of tables, list of figures, appendices, bibliography, and so on. It is also which gives the page numbers for each heading of chapters. List of tables. The list of table is presented separately after the table of the content is made. In the list of table, it includes the table number, table title, and the page number where the table is located. This list is prepared in the same order they appear in the report. Under the list of figures, the list is followed with the table in the report. The format of the list of figures is the same as the list of tables. It consists of the serial numbers, title, and the page number of the figure. The figures are listed in the same order of their appearances in the report. Abstract. It is also called synopsis. Abstract is nothing but a summary of the entire text. This helps the receiver to form an idea of the report before reading it completely. Normally, the abstract is comprised of few paragraphs and it seldom exceeds one page. The three parts of the text, intro, body, and conclusion, is really important. The introduction normally represents the background of the report. It also has objectives, methods of data collection, analysis, and the organization of the report. The introduction tells the reader what he will read in the body of the report. Under the body, it is the most important part of the report as it includes the whole details of the study, including tables, figures, graphs, diagrams. Lastly, the conclusion. In this, the summary of what the reader has just read, the conclusion has been written, and it highlights the significant point emerging from the report and may also describe the divergent point noted in various sections of the body. Based on the conclusion drawn, recommendations may be made at the end of this section. There is also a supplementary part. The supplementary part appears at the end of the report, that is, after the text, depending on the nature of the report. Many times, items are included in the supplementary part, but the most common among these are endnotes, appendices, bibliography, and index. Let us study and understand briefly about these parts in a separate manner. Endnotes. Using footnotes is a very common practice. Footnotes appears at the foot of the page. Sometimes footnotes are avoided and they are presented at the end immediately after the text. When notes are given on a separate page immediately following the text, they are called endnotes. These endnotes should be presented in the same serial order as are cited in the reports. The second one is annexure, also called appendices. Sometimes details of any matter may be useful to the report when presented in the text, but may distract or detract the attention of the reader when presented in the text. Such material is better presented at the end of the form of appendix or the annexures. Any material relevant to the text may be presented in the supplementary part and as annexures, like questionnaires, letters, memos and other related materials are normally included as annexures which is appropriate to the title and the serial number. Bibliography. This is also known as references. Bibliography is a list of references relating to the documents, publications, reports which is being consulted and help in preparing the report. The references prove to be useful to a reader who wants additional information. Generally, the bibliography is presented in an alphabetic order. Index. This is an alphabetical list of key topics and terms indicating the page number wherein the topic or the terms occur. The index, when necessary, is also presented in alphabetic order in a supplementary part. We learned that the format of a long reports is different, and now let's explore the short reports. Long reports consist of number of parts and are written with a greater detail than the short reports. Depending upon the purpose, context and the intended receivers, short reports are prepared in different forms. Broadly, there are three forms used for such reports. Memorandum. Memorandum is most widely used form of written communication within an organization. The memorandum form is normally adopted for communication between members of the same organization. It can be used conveniently for interdepartmental, inter-branch communication or prepared to be filed as records and references. The format of memorandum is simple. In a memorandum, the niceties of letter are sacrificed for the sake of conciseness. The format is intended to simplify and speed up communication. Organizations are often provided with the pre-printed forms to users with the basic element of memorandum. For an example, Robin Anand, the business manager in a marketing department, has submitted a short report in the form of memorandum to Mr. Manpreet, a marketing head, about a certain defects in the office practice. As desired, I have thoroughly examined our office practice and identified certain defects which needs to be removed immediately. The main defects are outlined along with the suggestions for consideration as follows. 1. Our filing system is centralized and the marketing division has explained its operation in recent years considerably. The number of products has increased from 5 to 20. With centralizing filing system, it takes a long time to locate and get relevant files. The processing of records has also become very complicated because of centralized filing. I therefore recommend the introduction of decentralization filing system as soon as possible. See how beautifully it has described the example of memorandum. Regarding office machine, old and obsolete machine introduced at the same office setup of the office is still being used. They are mostly outdated and obsolete. The computer along with the new software must be introduced in order to improve the efficiency of the office operations. The third option the Robin can also share is the communication system also has some defect. Currently, every file is being scrutinized by 4 officials. They are taking their own time to process and send the file to other sections. Decision making is thus lacking in promptness. Dispatch of letters to outsider is taking too much of time. We have therefore to introduce addressing and mailing machine, franking machine, letter folding machine, inserting machine, envelope sealing machine, etc. to avoid delay in dispatch of mail. As a result of the aforesaid defects, the office procedures have become complicated, resulting in delay in workflow. I would therefore request that appropriate steps be initiated for modernizing the office system and providing necessary machine and equipment to improve efficiency. Now, this was an example how I just demonstrated to all of you can be used into the memorandum. Reports of committees and the subcommittees are generally submitted in the minute forms. When the committees or the subcommittees is appointed by an organization, it is expected to submit a report on its activities and findings on the subject referred to it. When committee meeting is held, proceedings are recorded in the form of minutes of the meetings, and it is communicated to all the members that committee as well as other interested person in an organization. Depending upon the objective and the subject matter, sometimes committees submit long reports. However, proceedings of meeting recorded in the form of minutes of short reports. Organization follow certain standardized formats for preparing minutes. The standard forms includes an introductory paragraph which mention the name of the committee, place, date and time of the meeting. The next para actually gives the name of the members who attend the respective meeting and also the member who were absent. Thereafter, the proceedings are recorded with detail of deliberation at the meetings. At the end, it is signed by the chairman of the committee to give authenticity to the minute. The following is an illustration you will see of a committee report in a minute form. There is no prescribed structure for a long report. The part of the long reports may be broadly grouped into the three heads: primary part, text and supplementary parts. The primary part comprises title, page, authorization documents, table of the content, list of figures and abstract. The text consists of introduction, body and conclusion. Under the supplementary part, one may include endnotes, annexures, bibliography, index. In long report, normally, preliminary part appears in the beginning of the report. Text comes in the middle and the supplementary part appears at the end. The structure of short report is much simpler than of the long reports. Basically, there are three formats which we studied. They are memorandum form, minute form and the letter form. The first two types of the formats are used mainly for internal communication of an organization, while letter format is used to communicate with outsiders. In case of a memorandum, certain niceties of letter writing are sacrificed for the sake of conciseness and simplicity and to speed up communication. Proceedings of committee meetings are normally recorded in the form of minutes and communicated to the members and other interested parties in the organization. Finally, in appearance, letter reports are similar to letters. With this, we complete this session. Thank you so much and have a wonderful learning.